good morning to all the students who've joined us today, and I extend a very warm welcome to all of you to the Global Art and Design Education Expo 2021. This is our second edition of our art and design focused education fair. And in this breakout room, we're delighted to have Ms. Sarah Titford from the Maryland Institute of College Art, Maryland Institute College of Art. So I just want to kind of tell you a few words about Sarah, and then I'll request her to start. Well, Sarah Titford is the Assistant Director of International Admission at the Maryland Institute College of Art. She has over 12 years of experience and is a passionate educationist. Sarah likes to open opportunities for individuals who are looking to pursue creativity and innovation. Ms. Titford completed her Bachelor of Fine Arts from the Maryland Institute College of Art, where she studied fine arts and studio arts. She went on to do a Master of Fine Arts from New York University, where she specialized in painting. Sarah speaks Spanish fluently and loves painting in her free time. So I must say we're delighted to welcome Sarah to the Global Art and Design Education Expo. And today she's going to be focusing on how you can reshape the future with creativity and entrepreneurship. I'm super excited about this session, and I wish you all the best, Sarah. So over to you.
Thank you so much, and thanks for the kind introduction. I'm so excited to be here with everyone, and I have a really exciting presentation for you. I guess I don't need any further introduction for myself, only to say that also I'm a third-generation graduate of MICA, so a lot of my family members attended there as well, mostly the women in my family, my grandmother, my aunt, and my mother. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the presentation. When I pull it up, it will go to a full screen for me. So I will not be able to see the chat until the very end of the presentation, but please feel free to utilize the chat feature if you do have questions. And then at the very end, I will be able to address those for you. So I hope you enjoy. So the purpose of this presentation is really to give you all just some idea about all of the different possibilities that are out there with pursuing a career in creativity, in art and design, and really the need and demand for it in today's world. We live in a very a highly visual society now, especially during the pandemic, which has really revealed the importance of visual platforms and the ability to communicate visually. But beyond that, if you think about the room that you're sitting in, the clothing that you're wearing, the devices that you use, the movies that you watch, all of these different things that you're surrounded by, they involve artists and designers. And it really shows the importance of all of the people that are pursuing creative careers. So I'll give just a brief introduction about MICA. I have just a quick video to show you where you can really see a little bit of the campus and learn a little bit about the statistics on MICA. But MICA is actually the oldest fully accredited degree granting art and design college in the United States. So here is the video.
Salam hangat dari Baltimore.
Baltimore'dan selamlar.
Hello from Baltimore.
Okay, so this is a list of the programs that are offered at MICA, but I just would like to point out some majors. I'm sure many of them you are familiar with that are very straightforward, such as painting and general fine art and drawing, even animation and graphic design. But some may be new or different types of majors that I would just like to point out, and I will be talking about these later as we talk about different careers. Something such as interactive arts. Interactive arts is really the marriage between art and technology. So students who pursue something in interactive arts may become programmers to develop applications for cell phones or for computer programs. Another really exciting one that is new for MICA is called Ecosystem, Sustainability, and Justice, which is one of our liberal arts majors. And within this major, students are really focusing on how to use social design as a tool for helping the world in sustainability, defeating climate change, and even using it for social justice purposes. So there's some unique majors out there, and I encourage you to really look at all that is offered, not just at MICA, but at all schools that you're looking for. So this is just a quick QR code. If you would like to take a screenshot, you can always fill out our inquiry form, and I will send you more information about MICA at a later time. All right, so creativity, originality, and initiative is actually considered to be the #3 in-demand skill predicted for 2022, according to the World Economic Forum. So that's really a testament to how things have shifted and how the demand for creativity has grown over the years. Also, what I found to be really impressive, oh, I think I just lost my presentation. Give me one moment. Can you see it okay? Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Okay. If someone could just put in the chat if you could see the screen, okay, that would be great. I just want to make sure. Okay, good, thank you. Sorry for that. Let me pull this back up. Okay, so as I was saying, the creative industries are critical to the sustainable development agenda. They stimulate innovation and diversification and are an important factor in the burgeoning services sector, support entrepreneurship, and contribute to cultural diversity. And this is a quote from the Deputy Secretary General from the United Nations. So what's really exciting is that United Nations has actually allocated the year of 2021 as the International Year of the Creative Economy and for Sustainable Development. And just to give you a snapshot of how the creative economy has developed over the years, within the US alone, over 673,000 businesses are involved in arts, and they employ almost 5 million people. And globally, the cultural and creative economy provides 30 million jobs and generates over 2 trillion annually. So that's a huge amount that creative industries contribute to the global economy. And then finally, what is really interesting is that 88% of students who have gone and pursued a creative career are satisfied with their current work. And the number of artists in the workforce has even increased by 6%. And this is over the last decade, and this is according to the most recent SNAP survey. So what can you be as an artist? What are the different types of careers that you're able to pursue? And it's much more than being a studio artist and selling your work to individuals through galleries. It's much more than just becoming a graphic designer that works in a very basic sort of setting. This is a list of just a few of the things that you can become. And I really want you to think about things. Let's take the game design industry, for example. If you're interested in game design, there's not just an individual person working on a game, but rather hundreds. So within one firm, one game design firm or product design firm or illustration firm, you're going to have a wide variety of different types of careers that you can pursue. So you could focus specifically on storyboarding, or you could focus on specifically being what's called a colorist, where you are in charge of the color and the palette for all of the different designs and games. Even within animation, there is something that's called like an environmental specialist, where you are the one who is in charge of developing all of the different environments that characters are existing in. So really look into all of these different career types. And if you're really excited about anything that is on the screen here, do a deep dive and find a company and really investigate all of the different types of careers that are available there. So this is just a snapshot of at MICA, for example, where students are interning. So when you're looking at different universities, it's important to see if they have a very strong internship program. At MICA, we certainly have students who are doing upwards of 3 and 4 internships for school credit each year. And these are also companies that come to visit campus on a regular basis. So not only for internship purposes, but when you're ready to graduate, many times students are hired right out of graduation. So I also want to point out that art and design has become very integrative. And this means that art and design are working with and supporting other areas of study and other industries. So artists are working with engineers, they are working in the medical field, there are illustrators that are working with surgeons to develop educational surgeries. Also, there are animators that are working with NASA. So this is for the purposes of future space exploration. So you'll see a lot of these overlaps, and it really also shows just that there is such a high need for these types of careers. So you'll hear a term that has come up many times recently, which is STEAM. And so this is not just your typical STEM, science, engineering, science, technology, engineering, and math, but adding the A in there for art. So this is really showing that there is this overlap between art, technology, and the technological and scientific fields. Just to give you an example, in MICA's Interdisciplinary Sculpture department, we have a faculty member, Ryan Hoover, who has integrated art plus biology. So you'll find in the sculpture department that students are drawing with living cells, they are developing vegan fur and leather kombucha, and they are using this for product designs, for fashion designs, for sculpture, for interdisciplinary type making. And so this is something that you will find at an art school that may be surprising. Another exciting thing and something to really look for in different art schools are focuses on entrepreneurship. So I showed you that whole spread of different companies that students go on to work for, and that's certainly a pathway. But there are other pathways within creative entrepreneurship. So your generation, Generation Z, is considered to be one of the most entrepreneurial that has ever existed, meaning that students are doing it their own way. They're interested in developing their own companies, their own ideas, and their own career pathways. So at MICA, we have a program called First Year Fellows, where students are on a track to develop their own companies during their education and then after school as well. So now I'm going to go into showing you some fun examples of alumni from MICA and what they have gone on to pursue after graduation. So Winston Frazier, who has integrated art plus healthcare, he originally studied painting at MICA, but then he really developed an interest in design and product design and the 3D printing technology, and he noticed that there was a need in the medical field for people, amputees, so people who have lost limbs, and their ability to have sort of autonomy over their own design with this thing that's on their body. So it's functional, but it's also part of like a fashion or accessory, if you could call it. So he creates these customized 3D printed prosthetic limbs for people who have lost them. And he's also created these platforms that you can see cell phone application and on the web as well. So, if you want to have a limb that looks like an octopus tentacle or, a frog leg or something like that, you can do that. But also you can customize something that's very sleek, like you can see here. So when you're looking at different art and design programs, along with looking at what the alumni have done, it's very important to look at how students are supported in career development. And these are just some of the ways that you will find at MICA, for example, that students are supported. So you're not just being trained as an artist and designer, but you're also being trained as a creative professional. So we have an entire jobs database with thousands and thousands of internships and jobs available. As I mentioned, we have career fair and internship fairs where employers from all over the world come to hire students for internships. And then we also have the entrepreneurship programs. And it's really important to remember that at top art and design colleges, your network is going to be the faculty, who are all working professional artists and designers, and the alumni, who really live all over the world and can be a really powerful connection for you to get into the industries. So here's another alumni, Yuen Zhao, who combined art plus technology. So her fashion designs actually incorporate systems of the body, and they respond to things like the pulse, your temperature, your heart rate. And so these are really fascinating, and they've been shown all over the world. Then we have fine artists like Maria Fergroso, who is from Mexico City. She just graduated last year, and she is already in Forbes 30 Under 30 for 2021 as one of the most successful artists. And her work can be seen at galleries in New York City and in Mexico City and other places all over the world. So she's become incredibly successful. Morel Doucet, who is an artist and educator and ceramicist. So he works at a very famous museum in Miami, and he educates the people who come to visit. And then he also creates these incredible ceramic pieces that are representative of a lot of the color and design and texture that you see in his native country of Haiti. Writer and actress and illustrator Abby Jacobson has created her own television series. So if you ever get a chance, check out, it's on Comedy Central. It's called Broad City, and it's going on to its 4th season under the producer, Amy Poehler, who's a very famous comedian. So she has created her own television series, and she is also an illustrator. So she creates her own illustrated books as well. An example of faculty that you might see at MICA and at other art schools that you are pursuing are freelance illustrator Jose Via Rubia. And he is a colorist, as I mentioned that career before. He's a colorist for Marvel and Dark Horse comics. Artist and designer Jen Stark was interdisciplinary at MICA, and she studied fractal theory as part of the relationship that we have with Johns Hopkins University. And through her designs, you can actually see there's many different types of things that she's making, but she was responsible for creating the set design for the MTV Music Video Awards. Then we have students who are focusing in sustainability, just like Trisha Cheney. She is an eco-conscious fashion designer, and she has found a way to repurpose plastic grocery bags. They're the bags that cannot be recycled. You see them floating around and polluting the environment. And so she has found a way to take plastic bags and convert them into the sustainable windbreaker jackets. And these are being sold through her own platform and her own company as she became the owner of her own company. We have fashion designers. Of course, that's a hugely popular industry. We all know this. Niki Hendrix, who has been showing her work on runways from Milan to Los Angeles to New York. And she also has created her own, not just fashion line, but her own fashion design company as well. Co-founders of Two Bolt Studios. These are a duo who were involved in the entrepreneurship competition that we have at MICA, and they repurpose materials to create these really sleek furniture and interior pieces for office spaces and for home. Okay, so one thing I would like to point out to you that's a wonderful resource is an organization called ACAD. ACAD is the Association of Independent Colleges of Art and Design. And this is an organization that will show you universities mostly in North America that have a federal accreditation. That means that we are recognized by the federal government as having like a higher level of education. We're also nonprofit organizations. So when you go to this website, you can do several things. You can browse for programs. So if you're interested in architecture, for example, you can find all of the federally accredited schools that offer architecture. The other thing that's really important is that you can get portfolio advice. So any of the schools that are federally accredited are going to require a portfolio for admission. And my colleague at SAIC actually is giving a session today about portfolio, but you can always reach out to us to get advice. But if you go to ACAD, you can upload up to 5 pieces of your own work and highlight any of these schools that you would like to get feedback from, and you will hear back from them via email. And that's a wonderful way to get connected. Getting portfolio reviews not only helps you in your journey with your portfolio, but it helps for admission and even for scholarship. So I highly, highly recommend that you begin doing this as soon as possible. Another fabulous thing, a resource for you that will help you to kind of not only build your portfolio, but really learn about the different opportunities that are out there. Maybe you've never tried animation before, maybe you've never tried sculpture before, is pursuing a pre-college program. We have our email address here. This summer, our programs are going to be remote, but we look forward to in-person programs the following year. So please stay tuned for that. And you can also go to our website to look at all the different programs. All right, so finally, here is my contact information. I love to work with students one-on-one for help with portfolio, but also, you know, if you're curious and you want to get some more information about a particular program and the careers that it leads to, if you would like to connect with a current student at MICA, I can help you with all of these things. So please stay in touch. And don't hesitate to contact me. My role as the Assistant Director of International Recruitment and Relations is that I am here to support you. So the more contact we have, the better. And I really hope that I hear from you soon. And finally, here is our little QR code where you can register and get more information from us. And with that, I would love to take your questions. Excellent. Okay, let's see. What other things or subjects are taken in view along with designing career? Okay, so every art school is going to have a little bit of a different type of curriculum. At MICA and at many other art schools, you'll find that the studio majors, including design, product design, graphic design, architectural design, the curriculum is going to be 2/3 studio and 1/3 academic. So what that means is that you are going to be taking courses. Let's say you are interested in graphic design, for example. You are going to be taking a core set of courses within graphic design, but the curriculum is very interdisciplinary and it's very customizable as well. So you're able to also take courses in painting or in sculpture or in photography. as part of what are called the studio electives. So it is very customizable that way. If you're looking at schools that are what's called direct entry, or they are, a lot of the schools like in the UK, for example, are a little bit more strict as far as what you can take. So you may find that a graphic design program would only be graphic design and nothing else. A program at MICA is going to be much more flexible, and it's going to offer a lot more in the way of customizing your curriculum. Sure, I'm going to put my contact back into the chat here for you. I'm also going to include my WhatsApp number. I love communicating with students via WhatsApp. Sometimes it's easier than crafting a whole email, so feel free to contact me either way. Okay, let's see here. Wanted to know how are design careers coping with the pandemic? What a fabulous question. How are design careers coping with the pandemic? They are thriving in the pandemic, to be honest with you. And the reason is because all of us have had to go to virtual platforms. Even this wonderful organization that we are working with today has had to work with a design firm. With their branding, they have had to hire technicians in order to create this platform. And also all of the marketing that they've had to use. I'm sure many of you have seen the emails that have come through. They're working with designers. So if you think about it, the design world is really kind of thriving in that way. So I think that that is a testament to how kind of versatile and I think flexible the art and design world can be. Yeah. To give you some information about film and video, that's a great question. We had one filmmaker in the presentation, Abby Jacobson, who created her TV series, but film and video is hugely popular. A program at MICA, for example, is going to be very comprehensive. So within film and video, there are people making documentary films. There are people that are making films on commission for different companies. There are people that are utilizing the medium of video for fine art purposes. So they may be creating installation works or digital works using the medium of video. So it's very broad. And I encourage you to go to MICA's website and go to the film and video department, and you can see the alumni and the current students and what they're working on. And also you can see the curriculum and what types of courses you would take. Yeah, let's talk about architecture and interior design. That's a good question. So the program at MICA is called Architectural Design, and it encompasses interior, exterior, environmental, and many other types of architectural related design. So, you know, the world of architecture is huge. There are people in charge of interior spaces. There are people that are designing the entire aesthetic portion for buildings themselves. There are people that are creating the architectural designs for entire communities. Environmental types of architectural design. So this is a program that is very interactive in the sense that you work with a lot of design professionals that come to campus to work with you. There's also a lot of study abroad opportunities with architectural design. I know just recently a group of students went to the Netherlands. This was pre-pandemic, of course. Went to the Netherlands to work with a community there on an architectural project. So again, I would refer you to go to the website and also reach out to me directly, and I can send you some more specific information. Also, I want to remind all of you that this is this event today is going on for several hours, and I will be available to answer more questions if I don't get to them today. So please come to my booth, and there's a whole list of materials in the files section there, and a lot of them are on creative careers. Oh, fantastic. We have a question here about master's programs. Yes, we do have master's programs, certainly. There are 20 different programs in the master's level at MICA. They're highly, highly, highly competitive, but they are world-class, ranked within the top 10 in the country, specifically in graphic design and illustration are some of the most popular, but we also have incredible fine arts programs. One is called the Mount Royal School of Art, which is interdisciplinary, and our famous Hofburger School of Painting. So I encourage you to check those out as well. Okay, so for students who have completed a bachelor in architecture, they should definitely look into master's programs for architecture to get licensed. MICA does not have a master's level architecture program, but many do. I would refer you to the ACAD website that I put in there before. I'll put it in the chat again to find master's programs in architecture for the licensing. Let's see. Oh my goodness, so many questions. I may have to take some of your questions in the booth. So we are talking about visual arts programs, not performing arts. There are some ACAD schools that do offer performing arts programs, just not at MICA. Does designing or career in art provide good value? I mean, in terms of salary, absolutely, absolutely. Salaries on average are, the starting point salaries for people just out of university and designing careers are $50,000 or $60,000 a year, and then it goes upward from there. I would love to talk to you about scholarships in my booth. Okay, it looks like a lot of these are very specific questions that may be related to MICA, in which case I can speak with you directly there. Do we still have the admin here? I just don't know how long we have this booth open, and I just want to make sure I have time to answer everyone's question. Okay. All right, I'm going to answer about 3 or 4 more questions, and then I'm going to go into my booth. Thank you all for your patience. It is just me here answering questions. So let's see, can we do psychology with designing? Absolutely. So at MICA, MICA is a very it is a very academic school as well. So we actually have a liberal arts major that you can take called humanistic studies. So if you would like to focus in, let's say, graphic design and be taking courses in psychology, you can absolutely do that, and even take advantage of the partnership that we have with Johns Hopkins that has an entire psychology program. Just to be clear though, your degree would be a Bachelor of Fine Art, and it would not be in psychology specifically, it would be in humanistic studies. So that's one thing to consider. Yes, toy design is such a popular career pathway for so many people. We have students who are in our product design department who are focusing specifically in toy design. So we have courses that are specifically geared towards creating toys. You can also go to the ACAD website. I think there is one school that has a bachelor's program that is specifically in toy design, but otherwise going into product design would allow you to pursue that. How is the commercialization of design and creativity on a large scale? Design, building apps, stock design libraries going to create creative fields. I think I understand the question from Mituri. The commercialization of design and creativity is being created by artists and designers. So these are people that would be pursuing the entrepreneurial route, and they would actually be able to be the ones in charge of that commercialization. So it's not kind of third parties, but rather people within these fields that are building the apps and creating the stock design libraries. So it's not actually something separate, it's something within the field itself. Okay. Oh my goodness, you guys. There are so many questions and I would love to answer all of them. I do think, however, that I need to go to my booth. So please come into the booth. This conversation, this chat is going to be saved. And if you also reach out to me either via WhatsApp or via email, I am happy to answer the rest of your questions. And I'm so honored that you all have stayed and asked these incredible questions. And I really hope that you've been able to gain a lot from the conversation and from the presentation. So don't forget to fill out the little barcode inquiry here. And of course, reach out to me directly. I'm very happy to answer your questions. So thank you so much for coming, and I will see you in my booth. And I will be giving a presentation there on MICA specifically as well. So thank you so much.